On September 3rd of 1971, Mike's neck was broken in a football game. At 17, his life changed drastically.
16.
Well, it says 17 here. Sorry. You were 16?
16.
You would know, right? You would.
I was there.
You were there. I wasn't. Let me make a correction to my notes here. At 16, his life changed dramatically. The young man who was a natural athlete in the National Honor Society and was vice president of his class instantly became a quadriplegic. Life as he knew it was over, and he didn't really want to keep on living. Now, however, he travels the country addressing audiences of all ages and sizes. He talks about self-esteem, motivation, capabilities, attitude, consequences, perceptions, personal responsibility, and much more. Right. Mike likes to say that the problem is not the issue. The issue is how you deal with the problem. I give you Mike Patrick.
What's the ramp project? Try to keep it. Jim. Jim's the ramp project, right? Or did he leave? Pardon? He probably left. Well, he didn't do this, did he? No. Well, I was going to say, if this is what the ramp project's all about, I don't know why they're celebrating the ramp project. I told David earlier I wasn't sure where to get started tonight, and I'm still not quite sure. But I was going to talk about the ramp project. Now I think I'm going to talk about something else. I'm not exactly sure why David asked me to be here tonight. But then I started thinking, I'm old enough that maybe I'm supposed to be here. David said I got hurt September 3rd, 1971, and I did, in a heartbeat. There are people here tonight taking my picture that were there that night. And he's still around. There are other people here taking my picture that weren't there that night. And I can't get rid of him. These people that have been videotaping tonight, folks, they're not here to put your name and your picture on an NSA list. We're not going to do that. This is the other side of the aisle. Okay? We're going to wax liberal tonight, folks. Believe me. And I have a little experience with that. They talked a little bit about Ed Roberts. For those of you that don't know who Ed Roberts was, Ed Roberts started this whole thing. When I broke my neck, September 3rd, 1971, I was a junior in high school down in Worthington. 3 days into my junior year, I never went back to high school. I'm a 10th grade dropout. When I was taking my way back to high school, I went to the community college, was praying about what had been my senior year in high school. And I want to talk about me for just a minute, just because I want to lay the foundation so you understand where it is that I'm coming from. And you'll see how it all fits together here in a heartbeat. Well, maybe not a heartbeat, but it'll take a minute. David's not the only one that likes to talk. Before I talk about my accent, I want to talk about the directors that were here. These programs always start off with a story. And I want to tell you a story about Walt Seibert that you probably don't know about Walt. And he's not here to defend himself, to prove that it's true or not. So I want to tell you how Walt started school. In college, he went to school down in Mankato, and Walt sold Bibles door to door. And some of you know that Walt used to stutter. He had a real bad stuttering problem in college. So at the end of the first day, Walt and Katie and John all met with their manager, and the manager wanted to know how they did that day. So he turned to Katie, and he said, "Katie, well, how did you do today?" And Katie said, "Oh, I did all right. I sold 11 Bibles." The manager said, "Oh, that's great, Katie. That's a good first day. I'd like you to work a little harder tomorrow and try and sell a few more." So he turned to John and he said, John, how did you do today? And John said, oh, I did all right. I sold 27 Bibles. The manager said, oh, that's good, John. That's a good first day. I'd like you to work a little harder tomorrow and try and sell a few more. So he turned to Walt and he said, Walt, how did you do today? And Walt stutteringly said, I sold 67 Bibles. The manager says, Walt, that's great. You sold 67 Bibles in your first day. Would you mind sharing with us how you did that? And Walt again stutteringly said, I knocked on the door. And if you know Walt, you know that Walt used to talk like that. He doesn't anymore. He's gotten over his disability. Tremendous dreary. It's tremendous to listen to Walt talk. I love to talk to Walt, because I know he's going to take longer to say something than I do. But the manager said, well, you sold 67 Bibles on your first day. Would you share with us how you did that? And Walt said, I knocked on the door, and when they answered the door, I asked them, would you like to some of you have heard this. Would you like to? You know Walt, don't you? Yeah. Would you like to buy a Bible, or would you like me to read it to you?